we have time for a couple more questions.
Despite the Yankee cap, I'd like to ask a question. All right. Not represented then. All right.
No, what I wanted to ask was, you mentioned film, and a couple of people mentioned about continuity, and as a comic fan, I was wondering how much influence do y'all have over the movies that are made, because sometimes you'll sit there, watch the movie and enjoy it, but you're like, well, that's not like how it is in the comic, and just wondering why they deviate sometimes from the comic book to film. And also, is there any plans in the works for like maybe an Avengers series that's geared a little bit more towards the adult audience, like Justice League is?
Are you talking about just Avengers comic book or Avengers?
No, like a cartoon series, like an animated series.
Yes, we are. The quick answer to that is yes, we're working on an Avengers cartoon series. You know, I'm executive producer on that, and it's breathtaking. We don't have a release date on it yet, but we're feverishly working on it. With respect to the movies, the only movies that I can really talk to are, you know, one of the wonderful things as we celebrate Marvel's 70th anniversary is the fact that we are now our own movie studio, which means that in the past, movies like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Daredevil, Elektra, Punisher, X-Men, the Wolverine movie, those were actually produced by different studios. Those studios licensed those out from us. So we have minimal say in those movies within, you know, the certain aspects of our contractual agreements. Some more than others, because somebody else is paying to make those movies. We now, as our own movie studio, Iron Man, we did the most recent Hulk, we did Iron Man 2 is us, the upcoming Thor movie, Captain America, that will hopefully all lead to the Avengers. Those are movies that now that we are on our own studio, myself and a few other people in publishing and within other departments of Marvel were involved in this thing called the Marvel Creative Committee. You can see it as the credits roll at the end. Stick around, you'll see Marvel Creative Committee, all the people that are involved. We sit there before these movies start. We discuss the storylines, the feel for the movie. We then review everything from, you know, actor choices, scripts as they come in. You know, all the stuff is reviewed by us, and then everything is facilitated and run and created by our West Coast office. We have a big studio in Manhattan Beach, Marvel Studios. So it's a new world for us, and I think that's why movies like Iron Man feel so much more like a Marvel comic. It's impossible to distill 40 plus years of history of a character into a nearly 2-hour movie. So the best you can do is try to get to the essence of it. And I think the beautiful thing about Iron Man and Hulk was the fact that it felt like it came out of our comic books, as opposed to some other movies where we go, I don't know where that came from. I know what you're saying. And some work better than others. I think Sam Raimi on the Spider-Man movies really nailed the essence of Marvel. And we probably couldn't have done it any better. So yeah, I think going forward you'll see a lot more of that. You know, we're in the process of working on Thor right now, and that's going to be just, I can't say enough about it, and I can't say too much about it. But it's going to be breathtaking. It really is. You know, the guy that casted Thor, Chris Hemsworth, is perfect. I think he's like 6'4" or something like that. He's a big guy. If you watch Star Trek, he plays James Kirk's father at the beginning of the movie. That's our Thor. So yeah, so stick around.
I think I'm seeing mostly a trend though with all the big crossover stories like Civil War and Secret Invasion, and now you have Dark Reign, Extinction. It just seems like there's this big bleak cloud over the whole Marvel universe. I'm just curious as to, like, you know, where this trend came from, you know, and where do you see it going?
Says the guy wearing the Vader for President. Oh wait.
So the question is, you actually wanted to keep going, right?
On the other hand, if you're looking for a lighter, more limited, and more focused, amusing fare, I may suggest another X title, Forever, which isn't quite as bleak, just bloodier.
Without giving away too much of what's going to happen this year and the beginning of next year, all I can tell you is read the books. Everything is heading towards something. We've had a roadmap that we've been trying to follow very, very stringently since the beginning of Civil War. Believe it or not, we know where we're going. It's just, you know, it's been a several-year plan. You know, including the death of Captain America and exactly what's happening to Tony Stark right now, and what's happened to Thor, and all the core characters are being taken through a ride right now. And part of that was to bring back an element of unpredictability to the Marvel Universe. There was a time early on when Stan created this where the Marvel Universe was a much more dangerous place. You know, when Spider-Man and Daredevil ran into each other on the street or on the precipice of a building, it would be like, "Hey, Spidey, hey, Daredevil, how are you?" You know, they would meet each other with a certain amount of trepidation because they didn't know, you know, who's the guy in the red suit, who's the guy, you know, they were mystery men and mysteries to each other. But through all these years of writers and artists working on the books, there's a level of familiarity that creators and readers have with the characters, and they expect them to act that way. So Civil War was the beginning of us trying to put a wedge into that, because some of that familiarity, while on occasion it makes for a fun team up, didn't necessarily make for the best brand of Marvel storytelling. When you look back at Hallmark issues or runs at Marvel, you know, Days of Future Past, Daredevil, Born Again, you know, even again, we go down the line. They all sort of deal with black clouds and radical change happening in the characters. So we needed to get that happening again, and it really, I think, at the end of the day, for our writers, it tend to inspire them to do some really cool things. I mean, you know, I caught all sorts of hell because, you know, hey, Tony Stark is kind of the villain of the story. And then suddenly Tony Stark became the most popular character in the Marvel Universe, and the character everyone wanted to write, to the point where we had to tell writers, listen, pull back on the Tony stuff. He's everywhere. He's like Wolverine. So it's just an aspect of our storytelling that we're going for right now. But there are some massive changes coming that you're going to love, but you're going to hate. And hopefully you're going to give me your money for it.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you. We'll have to transition to the signing portion. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for our representative.